Thank you for watching Conscious Consumer Network. The live stream broadcast is free to view. You can pause and rewind live broadcasts to catch up, or view shows at a later date by accessing our free archives of all shows. Check out our broadcast guide to see what's on. You can show your support by donating to our network support fund. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or subscribe to the monthly newsletter for updates. We thank you for supporting free and independent media.
Hey guys, my name is Pejman Parchami. I live in Sweden, and I have been given the opportunity to talk about the Venus Project and how it views technology. This is going to be a PowerPoint presentation. It should be around 20 to 25 minutes. And I'm just going to get started. And let's see here if I can get the PowerPoint going. Great. So I was thinking that I would like to introduce myself and how I got started with the Venus Project. And if I would try to find a point where it all began, it would be a story that I heard, that an experience that Albert Einstein had. And he was going to hold a lecture, and before he went on stage, a person told him, "You can't go on stage with those pants." And he said, "What's wrong with them? They're clean." And the person said, "They don't have no crease on them. Crease is the line in the middle." And he said, "What is the crease for?" And I always thought that was a funny experience. And it got me started in trying to find people that talked about problems. And somehow I just found a lot of comedians doing that. So I started listening to stand-up comedy a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean the way normal people listen to music, I listened to stand-up comedy for 2 years. And I loved it. I loved how they ripped into normal things. And my favorite stand-up comedian, George Carlin, he could do that. He could do it in a really funny way. And he could go in extreme ways trying to show you how normal things have problems. So I got focused on that, problems. And when I found the Zeitgeist movies, that was right up my alley. That's what I like to see. I like to see problems in society, not just accepting things as they are, but show me why it's a problem. And when it came to Jack, he was doing something different, something that I was not used to. And it became a problem for me, because the first time I listened to Jack, I listened, I didn't get anything. And the next time I skipped over him. But I don't know what happened, but I got back to him, listening to his videos. And I found out that he was doing something different. He wasn't talking, he was mentioning problems, but he was doing something else. He was talking about solutions. And so I got started in doing the same, talking to people about solutions. This became my new thing. I got past problems. I wanted to discuss solutions. And this created a lot of problems for me, because it's easy to talk about problems. But when it comes to solutions, that's something else. The people don't accept it when you just say a solution. They will counter and ask a lot of questions, which is good. But that is where I feel a lot of people leave the Venus Project and its proposals, because it's too difficult. But I decided not to leave. I decided to check things out and find answers. It brought me to their homepage, frequently asked questions, which is a great tool if you're getting started, trying to understand. Just type in a word, values, technology, or communism, and it will give you a pretty good answer. So that's what I did. I did that for many years, looking for answers to the questions that I was getting. Not to go back and to tell people the right answer, but I did it for myself. So I started creating events every month for 2 years, meeting people from all around the world discussing this subject. And today I am one of the points of contact for Sweden, and that's how I got the opportunity to talk about technology and the way the Venus Project views it. So let's get started with that. I wish we could just jump into that and just talk about technology and how the Venus Project would handle it, but we can't go right into it. We can't start talking about will there be hoverboards in the future. We can't start off there. We have to solve a couple of puzzles before we can get into that discussion. It would be like um, we have to find a new way of thinking about it before we can discuss it. So before you start to discuss Ford's production line and why it was better, you have to know what was there before it. The technology was the same, but they were using it in a different way to solve problems. And that is, if you're going to take something out of this lecture, I will say remember that we have all the technology we need. Venus Project proposals are not sitting and waiting for a specific technology to arrive so we can get started. We have all of that. The problem we have today is that technology is being misused. It is not being used in the way it could be to improve our lives. And you see this in a lot of movies about the future. They have all the technology, but it's not really the future you're watching. You take a movie like The Fifth Element, Bruce Willis, it's 300 years in the future. And what is Bruce Willis doing in the future? He's driving a taxi. That's what he's doing in the future. And he's getting a ticket by the police. Is that the future of the world? Same type of world, just more technology? Or you take another concept like Star Trek, where they say we have gone beyond money. They never explain it to you how they got to that point. Unfortunately, they just say it that's the way it is. But they still don't know how to use technology, because every time they're under attack, their captain has to say, put up the shields. Why don't they automate that? It would be like having somebody have to push a button every hour so they would get oxygen on the ship. You just get a programmer and you automate that process. Doesn't the captain have anything better to do than giving those ridiculous orders? So technology can help us fly or give us the possibility to go high, but today it doesn't. We're just sitting on the floor. We know the possibilities, but we're not going anywhere. So I'm going to get into the problems of today and why technology is being misused. I believe that technology is being held back greatly today. And one of the main problems is profit. Because if you're at the top of the game and you have a technology and you're sitting on top, you don't want change. Change is what will bring you down. That will give your competitors a chance. So you do everything you can to maintain the technology that is being used. You take a product like Apple or the iPhone and you see that, yes, it's a great product. A lot of people like it, some people don't. But that product isn't the best that could have been created. It is the best for profit. But I wonder how it must feel like an inventor creating your product, but putting limitations on it. So every time you had a problem with your phone, there was a chance that Steve Jobs had the exact same problem. He didn't have enough battery time. He was at the beach with his family and he didn't have enough space. And I wonder how it must feel like as an inventor putting those limitations on your own product. Imagine being in surgery. You're going under surgery and you're looking over and you see the tools that the doctors are going to be using on you. And you say, hey, I created those products. I remember that was the shitty metal we used and that plastic, which is worthless. We made a lot of money. And I hope this operation will go out in a positive way. Because statistically, it might not. That's got to be a bad feeling when it's your product. So today, when your product isn't working, it's not about what can we do. Not always. It's more, what are our competitors doing? They're giving 2-year warranty. That's what we're gonna give. 2-year. So money runs the game, but it's not just big company holding technology back. A lot of people do it as well. You and me. Because you might work at a factory or any place and you start giving suggestions. You say to your boss, hey, I've seen a process where they, in a company where they automated this particular thing. And they say, great. And they bring in that automation. And you see a couple of your colleagues leaving. And you know, next time it might be you. So in the future, you might decide not to give any suggestions. So today, people fight technology as long as it is not beneficial to them. There is no reason for them to have it. I rather fight it than have it because it hurts me in my daily life. And how can we ever imagine solving great problems like poverty or global warming when we're holding back the tools that we need to solve those problems? To have an attitude of using tools, it means that you have to plan for the future. But we can't afford that today. We live for the day, we live for the next paycheck. Some of us that are lucky, we plan for a holiday, a trip. That's about it. And I would say that even Bill Gates doesn't have enough money to plan for the future. He can't afford it. Because when he had the opportunity to talk about the future of the world regarding global warming, an issue which he is concerned with, the only thing he could afford to give to the world was 2 words: one wish. That was all he had to offer. So what does this mean? Does this mean that Bill doesn't understand problem solving? I think Bill understands it, but not when it comes to global warming. If it was his company and he would have held a meeting saying that we will cease to exist 1 year from now if our company doesn't innovate, and somebody working there would say, hey, Bill, I have a suggestion. I have 2 words for you. One wish. I don't think Bill would accept that. I don't think he would accept that as an answer. And I think that person would cease to exist at that company. But Bill feels that that's a good suggestion. 2 words. And a lot of people watching that video feel the same way. And that's where we're at today. But I'm sorry to say this. Wishing that problems will be solved is not the answer. That's what children do. Wish that things will turn out all right. If you want to see a better world, we have to use the technology we have. We have to use the tools we have to solve the problems we wish to solve. So let's get into the Venus project. The Venus Project's views on technology, it is the same technology. You can take the technology you have today, but under different circumstances. It is a world without money, a world where people don't see the benefits in pushing a specific technology. It isn't connected to them. So they are not interested in do this or do that. They're interested in what technology will achieve their goals. A world where you are not concerned with your daily life. Can I pay the rent? Do I have food on the table? You have enough to plan for the future. And the more security you have, the more we will plan for the future. And most importantly, we no longer pray or wish that things will turn out all right. So children raised in that environment will behave very differently under the new circumstances. They will view the world as their home, as their own resources to solve problems. And they will use all the technology that they need to solve the problems that are on the agenda. Reality becomes the measuring stick that they use. Only that. That is reality which they use. But a lot of people have difficulties with that. Yes, we have the tools. They're sitting there in the Venus Project's proposal, which is a resource-based economy. But who will build all these things? I think that if we can get people from all around the world to destroy each other, I think we will have a much easier job to get them to help each other. So, back to the original question. Will we have hoverboards in the future? I know a lot of people are concerned about that. I would say that in a world where we share knowledge, where we share everything, technology, resources, and everything, we don't need to hold back. I think we will see a lot of interesting things. And I look forward to that world. So this was my presentation about the Venus Project's views on technology. If you have any questions for me personally, you can contact me via Skype or via Facebook. And that's about it. I'm going to be holding one more lecture about values coming up in a couple of weeks. And I want to thank you for listening. And I'm just going to turn off the screen. So thank you for coming, and send me any questions if you have them. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into CCN. This unique network is dedicated to free and independent media. CCN was created with the belief that information is the common heritage of all beings, which is why our live stream high-definition broadcast is easily accessible and free to view. If we want to change the world, we must first change the media. Having produced over 1,000 shows in 2015, which are all archived on YouTube, we look forward to bringing you more groundbreaking, cutting-edge information in 2016. For more information on what is on, please check out our broadcast guide for weekly updates. CCN broadcasts in multiple languages and features some key voices of our challenging times who are all in pursuit of a free, fair, just, sustainable world. CCN belongs to you, the people, and it is up to you all to keep this network on the air. Please contribute to the Network Support Fund or visit the CCN shop. We thank you all for supporting free and independent media.